And good morning, virtual villagers. Hello, my name's Kate Nisbet. My Facebook page and little business is called What Kate Made. I'm here today to demonstrate some crafts with paper doilies. So these are things that you can use paper doilies to decorate your table if you're having one of your little tea parties. Now, hopefully, I'll be able to see your comments. I think I've actually managed to get it up on a separate device. So if you make a comment, tell me where you are, what the weather's like. We've got it a bit cloudy at the moment, but it's supposed to get out nice this afternoon. Comments are always appreciated. I'll try and answer any questions you have. And let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to show you what I'm going to make this morning. So I've got 4 little things to show you here, but we may not get through them all soon now time goes. So the first thing we're going to make is a little paper doily flower. Dead simple to make. It's just little, you just pleat the doily, and then I've chosen to stick it on a bit of card and put a string on it, because I was thinking of maybe doing a vertical bunting with them, but you can always pop them onto other items that you've made. Use them to decorate cards and vases and things. You can see I put a little pink button, flower shaped button in the center just to decorate it. That's the first thing we're going to make. We're also going to make these doily pom-poms. One thing I'll say as a good tip for future is get really good quality paper doilies. Mine were a little thin, and so they keep flopping together a bit, but this is a very simple thing to make, and it's like a pom-pom. It's like one of those Christmas decorations that fold out and then fold back, you fold them up. So that is the doily pom-pom. Put that to one side. We're also going to make these little my fingers sticking to the glue, little cupcake baskets. So basically you fit a cupcake inside them. They're just card and a doily, a little pink rose decoration. I'm going with a pink theme today, so I've got everything that I'm going to use has got pink in it. I'd like to say good morning to Irene, Mandy and Sue. Hi, thanks for coming. So the last thing is a tea light holder. So it's just a little glass tea light holder, piece of your doily, ribbon and a bow. When I make this later, I'm going to make it with a jar, with something a bit bigger, because you can make them like this for tea lights on your table. If you made a bigger one, you could use it as a centerpiece, so you could put flowers in it. The flowers you made yourself from a doily. Okay, so we'll start with the flower, and what you need for, I'll just give you a quick show of the equipment. Obviously you need doilies. I got a mixed pack. It's got 3 sizes in it, the large and the small, and there's an in-between size as well. So, and you will also need some card. I've just got white card, A4 size white card. You will need various ribbons, flowers, possibly beads, string, cottons. I've got all these things here. As I said, I've done all mine in pink. We're going to start with the flower, and for the flower, you need one of the smaller size doilies. Well, you need 2 sizes basically, one bigger than the other. So I've chosen the medium and the small. You may use different depending on what you've got and how big you want your finished flower. You will also need something for the centre of it. I'm going to use a button, so I've got a jar of buttons here, so I'll pick one out that will match. Something to draw a circle around, so I'm just going to use this jar because that's about the right size. As usual, I'm now going to turn down the camera so you can see what my hands are doing, so bear with me, and hopefully I won't knock you over. I did that the other week, and I saw a lady on Sky News doing it this morning as well. I didn't feel so bad then. But can you see everything now? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to draw around this circle first. And cut that out, just so that we've got a rough idea of how big we want our our flower to be. So it doesn't have to be, that's not very much like a circle, doesn't acknowledge that. Of course, it doesn't have to be really precise. It's going to be here. I hope you can all hear me and see what I'm doing okay. Put that card to one side for later. So there's my circle. I'm just going to put that down there. So as you can see with this one, we've got two layers. The bigger circle makes the layer at the back, and the layer at the front is a small circle, the smaller doily. Just a word about glue. What I'm going to use today are glue dots, which are tiny little dots of glue on backing paper, and double-sided tape. You can use hot glue, or you can use any other sort of glue, PVA or anything like that. But the wetter ones are not very good with the thin paper doilies, so we'll try with these today. So to make your flower, if you fold your doily in half, and in half again, and then in half again, so it's an 8. This is just so we can cut the middle out easily. We're just going to cut that point off at about 1.5 centimeters. So, and then we're going to cut from the outside to the centre, like that. Now, to make the flower shape, all you're doing is pleating it. So just make pleats as you go around. As you make, with each pleat, you need to just dab the glue on it and glue it down as you go, and then it doesn't unwind. So as I said, I'm just using these glue dots because they're easy today. I need to cut a little bit more off that one. So you just want your pleats going round. They don't have to be regular, just so that it's giving you like a petal shape. I better turn some of these off actually. Let's do it that way. Can you see those? The tiny little dots. Oops, tiny little dots of glue on the backing paper. So it's dead easy to use. You just press it down and then peel the backing off and it sticks. So keep gathering round. And gluing as you go. Nothing come off. There we go. So you're going to do the same with both doilies. So we'll keep working our way around. I'll do mine quickly so that you're not just watching me glue things. You're actually, well, that stuck to my finger. So when you get around to the end, just kind of overlap it and pull it together in the centre. Put one last, there isn't one on there, one last glue dot to finish it off. Right. So that is your first flower. That's quite a bit bigger than mine because I've used more of the paper in the middle. So what we'll do is we'll do the smaller one for the centre. Same principle, you fold it into 8. You don't have to do this. You could just cut a circle out the middle, but I just think this makes it a bit easier. Cut the tip off and cut through to the centre. And then repeat the process, gathering as you go. Glue dots. Oh, see, this is what I mean about mine. Mine are a bit fragile. They keep tearing at the kind of lacy bit. So just really be careful. I'm rushing too much, that's why. I'm aware this looks a little clumsy to you. So we'll just carry on pleating that round. One last glue dot should do it. And then, oh, all sticking together now. There we go. So then you want to put some glue dots in the centre so you can glue the two together. we'll put a couple in because they're quite small dots. So, right. Now, what you could do with this, well, what I would probably have done if I wasn't live is do another, maybe another flower, because that's worked out quite big. But if you cut the circle in the middle bigger, then it will make the flower smaller, if that makes sense. My glue dot's not working very well today. One last one on. Right. So the next thing is to put something in the centre. Now you could choose a bead or a button. I'm going to do a button. There's my jar of buttons. So what we're doing here now, because it's quite big, we'll need quite a big button, I think, for the centre. I mean, that's a very nice one. And so is that one. So I might use that one. Okay. It's darker pink. Just going to push them to one side. Again, put a glue dot on it. Good morning, Donna from Portavogie. Where's that? And Alison, who has hundreds of doilies. Yeah, because you buy a packet of doilies, you use 3 for whatever purpose you're on, and then that's it. You've got them hanging in the cupboard forever then. So these are nice. If you've got, I mean, come Christmas, you could always make something similar. They make great little sort of, you can make little angels out of them. I've chosen not to do that. If you go into a wedding, you can make like wedding gowns out of them. So that is your flower. We stuck the circle on the back. That gives it a bit of body, because as I said, these are very, very fragile, cheap ones I bought. And that's quite effective, I think. So you can choose to string it up like I did with mine. All I've done is poke a hole with a needle and thread the string through. This is some crochet cotton. And there we go. So you could have them hanging, like the bigger one and the little one. Anyway, so that's the flower. So that was quite simple. I'm sure you'll agree. What am I going to show you next? I think we'll show you the little basket next. Cute little basket. Whoops. Not stuck down properly. That you can pop a cupcake in so people can take them home. If you were having a bake sale, these would be a really nice idea. You know, just a little bit more than just the cake. Or if you were doing like a baby shower or something where everybody's being given a cupcake, these are a nice idea. So again, you need card and a doily. We're using the muffin case to just get the size right. But I'll show you. So for this one, I'm using a medium-sized doily, and I'm also going to use the white card. And where's my doily gone? This is the medium-sized one. The other thing with my doilies is as well, they all got crumpled in the bag when I brought them home. So I had to sit them overnight under a pile of books to try and straighten them out. Okay, so that's your medium-sized doily and your card. So for the handle of the card, we're going to cut that out first because you need quite a long strip of card. So I'm going to cut a strip of card about 1 centimetre wide off the edge of this. And it's easier to do this first to decorate the handle before you stick it on, because it is quite hard to stick once you've attached the handle. So that's our strip of card for the handle. You can measure it by eye, have it however long you want, but just leave some tabs undecorated at the end for when you come to stick it on. So with this, I'm going to stick ribbon on it, and I'm going to use my double-sided tape because it will take too many glue dots. So this is double-sided tape, sticky on one side, and it's got protective backing on the other. Leave about 1 centimetre at the bottom to stick it to your basket later. Try and get it straight, which mine isn't, but the ribbon I'm going to use is quite wide. Just cut that off. Make sure it's secure, and then peel the backing off with your nails. Oh, this is so much easier than last time I did it. And I'm going to use this because I'm on a pink theme, like I said. I've got some pink ribbon here. I've got two lots of pink ribbon. One's wider than the other. Where's the other one? I've got a narrow one and a wider one, but I'm going to use the wider one on the handle to cover the glue stick. So, pin in it to stop it unwinding. I can't get it out. Right, so basically just press your ribbon onto your double-sided tape. Okay, and then cut it at the right place. Scissors aren't very good. Right, so there you've got your piece of card with your ribbon on it. Now I put a little, keeps going up to that, a little flower on mine. And I've got these ready-made, where have I put them? In here. So they come ready-made with a little ribbon flower with can you see that? With a little sort of leaf bit on. Again, just a dot of glue on the back of the ribbon. And then, oops, stick that in the centre. That glue's not gone on properly. It's gone on me, not on the flower. So roughly in the centre about there. There we go. So that's the handle. So I'll put that to one side for later, and we'll move on to making the actual basket. So what you need to do is you want your card to be an arch shape, and you want it to be roughly the size of your doily, but with a bit of overlap. So the easiest way to do this is to cut the doily in half and use that as a template. So what we're going to draw is, I'm going to just draw a line roughly round the doily, and then I'm going to cut inside it because we want the doily to go above, the lace bit of the doily to go above the so I'm going to cut around. That's in my pencil line. Right, let's just double check that with our doily, because we want the doily to be above the edge like that. So what I might do is just cut a little sliver off the bottom of here, and then we want to cut out the middle section so it makes like an arch shape. I'm just doing this roughly by, you can always trim it up again after. Probably a good idea if you're going to make a few of these is to make a template and then draw around that. Then all your baskets are the same. You can check if it's right by just curving it around. That's a bit deep. So what I'm going to do is I'll just show you with the cupcake case as a temp. See if you want to, what you want to do is put your cupcake case in it. So you want to cut it a bit lower at the bottom. So I'm just going to cut a bit more out of here, about another centimetre. Everybody's cupcases will be different sizes and everybody's doilies will be different sizes. So this is something you really have to just do by eye. That looks better. The only thing is it's a little bit long on one side, so we'll maybe squidge it round. Try it again with our cupcases there in it, just to, oops, I've got a peg somewhere. I'll peg it. Pegs are great. I use pegs for everything. And then just drop your cupcake and it does fit fine, so that's fine. Right, so now we need to glue this side. I used glue dots earlier, but I found they kept coming undone, so I'm going to do a strip of the double-sided tape. Because the card's quite strong, the glue dots weren't holding it, they were chipping it open, if you like. Peel off the tape backing. awful. I always struggle with double-sided tape and things. That's why I use the glue dots. And seeing my thread and needle is absolutely painful. Right, so you just curve it round. If you find you've got a bit of an overlap like that, you can just trim it with the scissors, which I will do now. Just to neaten it up a bit. There we go. So that's your basic basket shape. So the next thing we're going to do is add the doily to it. So your doily wants to be cut roughly on the same template. So what we can do is fold it into quarters like we did earlier and cut it off at about the right height. So we want it to overlap that scalloped bit and we want it to just sit there at the bottom. So that will do this. And then you simply roll it round your little basket and overlap it. So the easiest thing I think to do is going to be to put the tape on and attach it at one end and then roll it round so that it's reasonably tight round. You don't want it to be slipping off. Again, struggling with the glue. Okay. You may notice that your doilies have two sides. There's a smoother side and there's a side where there's a cut edge. So what you want to do is use the smoother side outwards. So then just keep wrapping it round, bring it right back to the beginning. And you might want to just use a little dab of glue underneath the final bit because you want it to hold securely. There we go. And again, if you've got a little bit of an overlap, you can either tuck it in, tuck it in like that, because the paper will move quite easily in, or you can cut it off. There we go. So that, the basket's moved now. The doily's moved, I mean, very carefully gonna just ease it over. That's your basic basket. Now, what you want to do next is attach the handle. What I might do is put a bit of ribbon around it. No, I won't, not today, but you can do if you want. So we're going to check the handle. It is a bit long, so I'm going to trim a bit off each end. This is where hot glue might be better than anything else because you want it to be quite secure, but as I haven't got my glue gun charged, I'm going to just put a couple of the dots on. Because you notice mine kept pinging off before because it wasn't glued on. So glue it on there on the inside. And then we'll put some glue on the other side. Put it on the handle rather than on the cup. So there's one. We'll put quite a few on. So that it fits. Right. And there it is. It's a little cupcake basket. Nice and cute. Great. Simple. Right, so we'll put that to one side. And next I will show you the vase and the tea light holder. So these are very simple again. I think I'll use the jar and I will use the largest of my doilies. Now the way I did it with the tea light holder was I cut it in half and used half of it because it wraps round quite easily. So let's cut this in half. happens with your jar, we're just going to lay it on so that the bottom edge is at the bottom edge. It is overlapping a bit at the top, so what I might do is cut another centimetre off it. Right. Then try that again. I'm making a right mess here. There's bits of paper everywhere. See, that's better. So it just overlaps like that at the bottom. And you've got the nice shape. You've got the roundness of the doily. And it's quite pretty, that. So that's stuck because there's still a bit of glue left on it from when it had a label. I'm going to use the double-sided tape and I'm going to go right round the bottom of the jar, right at the very bottom. Right, so then peel the backing off. Sometimes if your backing won't come off, if you run your nail, the back of your nail over it, it kind of sticks a bit better. I'm not saying that's not working this time. I might just snip a bit off because it was overlapping. There we go. Nope, that's coming off again. Bear with me. Talk among yourselves. Oh dear, we are not having a lot of success with this glue today. Doesn't want to play ball. Ah, at last. There we go. So you can see I've got that line of glue. So I'll put the join to the back, place it on my doily, and then wrap the doily around, sticking it to the glue as I go. That way first, and then do the other bit. And overlap them in the centre. Okay, right, so there you go. So I think we'll maybe wrap some string around it and some ribbon. So I've got some jute twine. So I'm going to cut off the length of that. I will start it at front where I can cover it up, and this time I'm going to use the glue dots. Where did I put them? Just because the tape, if I put tape on this, it might just pull the whole lot off again. So put the glue dot in the centre. Very carefully peel it back. This is where if you've got a glue stick or PVA glue, it will be a lot easier. Press that down, go all the way around, and then I'm going to twine it around a couple of times. I'm going to follow the line all the way around, and then I'm going to cut that off there and glue it down again by putting the glue on the string. Claire's just commented about double-sided tape nightmares. It is. It's fine in the end. What you should really do is probably, fold it over at the end or something. So that's given that a nice little bit of a rustic feel, a bit of string round. And what I might also do is, I think I'm going to put some ribbon round as well. So the pink ribbon, the wider one that I used, just going to measure that roughly. And then I'm going to try and put the double-sided tape on the ribbon so it doesn't tear the paper again. So let's try it this way. Really should have practiced this a little bit more, shouldn't I? But I do tend to be a bit of suck it and see how it goes. And I changed my mind halfway through a demonstration, so I'll practice it and then I'll think, oh no, I might do it this way. I've probably just made a rod for my own back here with it being really hard to then peel the backing off fabric. Well, let's give it a go. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to glue dots. Doesn't help that I've got fake nails on as well, and they're a bit thick. No, glue dots it is. Start one on the end, start at one end and work our way along. So we'll start it at the same place, because then we can cover the join up with a flower or a ribbon later. So go all the way around, and then I'll put another glue dot on there. 10 extra tape. This is quite a good thing to do with the kids, actually, because it's all very simple and there's no real sort of like dangerous things involved, unless you include double-sided tape. So the kids would really quite like this, and if they're off on holidays, then it's something for them to do, isn't it? So that's how we've got so far. I think the next thing might be a bow, and I tied some bows earlier out of the very narrow pink ribbon. So we'll put one of those on with the glue dot. Actually, I'm going to put a ribbon, and I'm going to put a button on it first, because I'm thinking I need to cover these ends up, and I had a nice big button there earlier with a heart on it. So a nice pink button with a heart on. So we'll stick that over the join. There we go. And we might put the bow underneath it. Yeah, and that'll be us. I think that will do. So this one, you can use it as a vase, and you can put some flowers in it. Don't know whether you saw my demonstration a week ago when I did centerpieces, and I made some little fake flower bouquets. So I'll just try that in there so you can see what it looks like with flowers in. Kind of. So there. Oops, other way, that way. So you've got that one, and the tea light that I made earlier. Where have I put that now? Lost it. Oh, I'm such a mess today. Anyway, you saw the tea light earlier. So you could have these in your centre of your tables. So you could either have the flowers or you could have the tea light, depending on what you fancy. So that was item number 3. And the last thing we're going to do is the pom-pom. I'm just going to tidy up a tiny bit because I've got a right mess here now. Now the pom-pom is probably the simplest, but I think it's prettiest. You can use any size of doily you like, depending on what size pom-pom you want. I'm just going to use, I think, I used the small ones before. You need 4 doilies, so they do tend to stick together. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd say 4 is the minimum. You can put more on if you want. So you have your 4 doilies. You need a needle and thread with a thicker embroidery cotton. This is a crochet cotton. That's quite nice. You can also put a bead on it to give it a bit of weight. So I think I'll use that nice pink bead there. And you could put a bead at the top as well, actually, on either end of it. So I'll choose a different bead for the top. That's the one my needle will go through. I'm not sure my needle will go through this one. I think it probably will. No, it won't. Okay. Well, you can put a bead on the end. I'm not going to. I'll just show you the basic method. So I line them all up so that they are more or less matching the place they're matching. So you can line them up along the edges. Then fold it in half to find the center line, and then unfold it again. Right. Take your thread. At this point, if you're going to do a bead, I wonder if I can thread it through by hand. I can. You would put your bead on the bottom tie a big knot, which you can probably tidy up later if you think it's gonna look messy. I hope you're all enjoying this. There are a few comments coming in, so that's nice. Right, so there, you've got your bead on the end. Now, what I would do, because again, mine are quite fragile, I'm gonna just make the holes before I start sewing. So you want to make the holes in the solid paper bit along the line of your fold, and just about 1/2 centimetre apart. Now, if any of you are going to have a go at this, I'd love to see what you're doing. My page on Facebook, What Kate Made, if you there'll be a link in the comments later. If you can post pictures there for me, that would be great, because I love to see what other people have done, how they've sort of like interpreted what I've done. I'm going to let that dangle a little bit. Can you see? So it's left a bit of length. I've gone up through the lacy bit of the doily, and I'm just going to go up through the same hole again to just secure it and make a knot, because you don't want your bead to be falling out of the bottom. Okay, so there we go. That's been secured with a knot now. And then you just running stitch up the middle. So you go through the lacy bit first. So use the holes in the doily for your first stitches, and then just follow the holes that you made earlier, going up and down. I always think it's boring watching me stitch. This is when I do my chatting. So hopefully the village hall will ask me to do some more demonstrations. So if there's anything in particular you'd like to see, if you take a look at my Facebook page, follow the link that I'll post later, and just see if there's anything that on the page that you think, oh, I'd like to try that. Because I'm quite happy to demonstrate anything. This is one of my favourite bits about crafting, is the fact that it's sociable. And even though we're not actually in the same place, it's still sociable for me. So there you can see I've got my bead on the bottom. I've got a whole line of running stitch up the middle. And now you just need to fasten it at the top. So I'm going to go through again. And what I usually do is go under and over through the stitch I've made, just to secure it with a knot. I'll do that a couple of times. Now this will be a hanging string. If you wanted to do a sort of string of doilies, sort of pom-poms, they'll have 2 or 3 on the same string, then you could just tie a knot and start doing the next doily on. But I'm going to just do a hanging loop in mine, just a slip knot. Simple slip knot, and then pull it. So that is down there. Then I would just trim off that bit. Oops, put my string now. And I'll trim that one off the bottom of the bead as well. Get that glued off. That's got there randomly. And there you go. So the next final bit is just to fold it again, and then crease it quite firmly but gently with so you don't tear it. And then you want to just sort of unfold them and crease them again open, so that they fold out at angles. So like the back one and the front one, so just crease them like that, so that they flop out, they fold out. If you've got better quality doilies than me, obviously this will stand out a bit better, but mine are a bit cheap and nasty. So there, that's your doily pom-pom. Can you see that? I'm going to just flip the camera back up, and then you can see a bit better. There, I'm quite pleased with that one. I've got visitors coming this weekend, so these are going to get hung up in the house. I don't think it's going to be fine warm enough to go outside and eat. But you never know. We have a fire pit, so we might put that out as long as it's dry. So, Doily Pom-Pom, they would be nice for a baby shower, wouldn't? Because they're quite delicate and sort of. So that's everything. I hope that was giving you a bit of inspiration towards your own tea party. And yeah, thank you for joining me. Again, please leave comments. Any questions? I will try and get round to answering all your questions today, and I'll reply to all your comments because I do like to see what everybody says. If you really enjoyed it, then take a look at my page on Facebook, What Kate Made, Kate's Design and Craft. I think if you put at Kate's Design and Craft, it will come up. Also, if you've enjoyed yourself today, as I say, leave comments. Let me know if there's anything in particular you would like me to demonstrate. I will endeavour to do whatever you. I mean, I quite enjoy these. This is my morning off from work, and I quite like it. So whatever you'd like me to do, I can do it. Thanks for coming, and have a nice day. See you soon.